Carvey and Smoke Dixon, I'm spitting facts. Now let's hit some heated topics, yes, it's time for group chat.
Smoke and I have decided to let you in our unfiltered group chats so you can see what trending topics we've been discussing throughout the week and let you know what's really going on in the world of college football. And for the first topic we will get into, addressing Sherrone Moore's possible NCAA sanction. Why Sherrone Moore's NCAA sanction is unfair. Smoke, Michigan received a draft notice of allegations from the NCAA on Sunday that included a level 2 charge against head coach Sherrone Moore. According to ESPN and the ongoing NCAA investigation, Moore faced potential penalties for deleted text messages he exchanged with Connor Stallions, collecting video footage of opponent signals. The draft also contains level 1 charges on former coach Jim Harbaugh, former linebackers coach Chris Partridge, and former recruiting staffer Denard Robinson. Let's bring in Michigan Inside publisher Sam Webb to go through some of this with us. Sam, welcome to the show. I know, me and Smoke been waiting on you all week, brother.
Man, I'm glad to be here. The great Kyle Reed. Been waiting to be on the show. Appreciate the invite. And my man, Smoke was making it hard on me. They had me on the 24/7 live show last week after Smoke. And I was like, oh, Smoke, you're killing me. So I'm glad to be on the show with
he
Smoke.
Was going to Michigan.
Been looking forward to it.
Well, here's the thing, fellas. I'm dressed appropriately. You guys understand that I'm a company guy, man. I'm a Michigan guy. I'm a Michigan guy through and through. Even I got on the blue.
You do. You look the part, man. You look the part. I'm impressed.
Well, we see you got your costume on. I know the people in Alabama going to be sending you a bunch of texts later. How does this sound? Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, man, Court might be wearing the maroon and white right now, but you look underneath Court's shirt, I'm telling you, Court is still wearing the maize and blue. Don't let him fool you, Smoke. I'm just telling you.
No doubt.
Hey, I talk to Court all the time. He says every time we get off the phone, he says roll tide. Every time we get off the phone. So let's get into this. Let's unpack this a little bit, Sam. How does this impact Sherrone Moore?
So I don't really think it does, Carl, beyond having to deal with it on the recruiting trail. I think there is the immediacy of having to answer the questions from recruits and their parents about, hey, what are the implications here? Is this going to affect you this season? Procedurally, there is a process that comes with a notice of allegations, but Michigan hasn't actually received the notice of allegations yet. This was a draft. After the draft is supposed to be private. You receive a draft, you go over the draft. Maybe there's some disputes or corrections that come with. You send those back to the NCAA and they make whatever corrections. Sometimes some things are resolved. And then they send you an actual notice of allegations. You have 90 days to respond. And then if you dispute that, there's a committee of infractions that you have a hearing with. This is a process that can linger on into the summer to determine a punishment. So the long and the short of it is, if there is a contested issue, we're talking about into the offseason. So if we are talking suspension or something more severe, it wouldn't even get to that process until into the summer of 2025. But I don't think it'll be that serious. Even if you talk to the people who wrote the article, like Pete Thamel, he said, I think it's going to be a big fine, which is what I was hearing. The folks at Michigan think this is one of those deals where the NCAA, in their zealousness to get out before this Netflix special, this Netflix special that Connor Stallions is going to have, that's what this is all about. They want to have their piece, their side of the story out there before he says his piece, because he hasn't been cooperating with the NCAA. They don't know what he's going to say, so they want to have their say before he does. That's what this is all about. So Sherrone is busy coaching his team, getting ready for the season. I don't think this is going to affect them this season, other than he has to make sure he gets out in front of this as much as he can with recruits.
Now, Sam, you said you don't believe it's going to affect them this season, but we all understand that when you have distractions, it's going to affect you in some way. How do you think this is going to impact their program like immediately?
Well, so, here's the thing, Smoke. They have experience with this. I mean, think about it. Last year, you missing your coach 3 games at the beginning of the season. Then you're in the meat of your schedule, and then you get hit with the Stallions piece. You get suspended. Your head coach gets suspended at the end of the season. Again, you got Penn State, Maryland, and Ohio State, right? And this team weathered that storm like it wasn't a storm. So they're used to this. I know there are some new coaches that are learning to deal with it, but there are enough coaches and enough players that have been through it that I think they'll be fine. And I think there's a realization that this time around, the severity of the punishment won't be what it was last year. Because here's another difference, fellas. And I'm curious, I want to hear your take on it, because the national perspective is different. See, last year it was Michigan versus everybody. And I don't get that sense this time around. Everybody it's not just Michigan folks, it's Paul Feinbaum, it's Colin Cowherd, it's Pete Thamel who wrote the article. Everybody is like, hey man, the NCAA is like, this seems like a witch hunt. They're going all out on Michigan. This seems a little excessive. I don't think this is going to be a big time punishment. Only folks who seem to think this is going to be something severe or should be something severe are Buckeyes and maybe some Spartans who aren't really relevant at this point. So I don't sense much in the way of distraction other than, like I said, having to deal with it on the recruiting trail. I don't sense Michigan feeling like, oh my God, the hammer is coming. I sense more of the bigger chip right now is folks like my man Smoke thinking they're going to take a bunch of L's this year. It's like, oh man, y'all think didn't we just win a championship? And y'all thinking we won't even compete for the Big Ten championship this year? Damn, whoa. Smoke, give us a little bit of respect. I think that's the bigger chip this year.
Well, Carl, let me touch on it first.
He don't think that y'all gonna lose games because of this. He thinks that y'all don't have a good football team this year, Sam. So before he jumps in, let's address that first. What he thinks about y'all team has nothing to do with the allegations at hand. Go ahead, Smoke.
Well, listen, both of y'all is going there spreading false news about me again. I do believe you have the 4th best team in the Big Ten. That don't mean you're at the bottom, but Sam, I'm with you. At some point, enough's enough. Move on. You gave them the punishment last year. They dealt with it. They went through and they bust everybody up, including my Alabama Crimson Tide. The Buckeyes, they took care of you. So I'm with you. I don't know. I can't say it's a witch hunt because I don't have all the facts and evidence in front of me. But when you go through the process of dealing with the NCAA and they give you that suspension and they give you whatever your penalty is and you took your licks and kept on going, I think at some point you just got to say, okay, they've dealt with it and just move on. And all the naysayers, they handled y'all already. So, Sam, I'm with you on this, but I still think you still got the 4th best team in the Big Ten.
Well, let me lace y'all with a few. First of all, since we unfiltered, I do want to address just one big elephant in the whole room of this sign stealing thing, because you guys are players and coaches. The whole concept of sign stealing being undermining the integrity of the game is the biggest bunch of crap I think I've heard. I mean, in Little League, we were stealing signs. In Little League, are you kidding me? Undermining the integrity of the game. This is a part of the game. This is what people do. This is why you have people sending dummy signals. Fellas, I think we should use the words of the great philosopher Goldie. Have you guys seen the movie The Mac? Right? So if you go to a party, right? You go to the party and that man over there has a woman. right? And I'm going to the party to take that man's woman. That man should have a plan to guard his woman. And if he can't guard his woman, then that's that man's fault. He didn't put up a good guard. That's his fault. I'm trying to take that man's woman. That is my goal. He is supposed to play proper defense, right? So Goldie, he has come up with a good plan to steal that woman. This is how it works in football. Same concept applies. This is what sign stealing is all about. So all these coaches know that. They are taking advantage of people who don't know the game of football. Smoke and Carl, people know that this is a part of the game. What the hell is the problem? How has this become an issue? And then they take this whole thing about him being on the sideline at the Michigan State Central Michigan game. Fellas, he was not on the sideline of that game stealing signs for Michigan. He was not. It was a Friday night game. Michigan coaching staff didn't even know he was up at Michigan State. If Michigan had sent him to the game, think about this, fellas. Now, when we stole signs in Little League, we sat in the stands. We had to, of course, but it was the better vantage point. You get a chance to see the field, see everything. Of course, Michigan will want him in the stands if they sent him up there, not only for vantage point, but because all you coaches know the other team's sign stealer guys. That's why he was in disguise. But the fact of the matter is, he was working on this for a long time. He had been scouting Michigan State for a long time. He got on the sideline, had a sideline pass. His boy was the quarterback coach for Central Michigan. He was on the sideline in the Central Michigan coaching gear. How do you know what coaching gear Central Michigan is going to be wearing that day? Unless they were in on it, unless they put you on the sideline. And then you're on the sideline with the coaches. I mean, what are you talking to them about? Of course, you're giving them the signs for all the help that it gave them. They lost the game. And before you say it's Central Michigan, Michigan State wasn't even that damn good last year. Didn't even help Central Michigan win that game. And lo and behold, what happened at Central Michigan last week? Did you guys hear what happened at Central Michigan last week? The quarterback coach got fired the day before the start of fall camp. Clearly, it wasn't about performance. Coaches who get fired for performance get fired after the season. Hell, they at least get fired before spring ball or after spring ball, not the day before fall camp. They asked the AD, hey, AD, did you fire because of the investigation? The AD said, well, we don't comment on the ongoing investigation. Seems awfully conspicuous to me. So again, Smoke, Carl, putting together the ones and the twos of it, seems to me the quarterback coach at Central Michigan got fired related to Connor Stalions, which is what we had been hearing, that Connor Stalions was up there stealing signs for Central Michigan. I rest my case, my brother.